My name is Zachary Conan, and if you enjoy my thoughts in this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. This video is about the X-Files, and about how much I love characters like Alex Krycek. Be completely upfront with you right now, he is one of my favorite villains of all time. He's a less is more kind of villain, but the amount that we get is incredible, and Chris Carter is a god for creating him. But essentially, what I find really interesting about Krycek is the symbolism that Chris Carter aligns with this character, primarily in episodes like Tunguska and Perma, where he's revealed to be a Russian operative, as well as a rogue operative, as well as an ex-member of the Syndicate. There's not a single shadow that Krycek doesn't completely revel in. But before we see Krycek appear in the episode, a stray dog is positioned in the center of the frame. And there's a lot of talk about, I'll get you a bowl of water, Krycek. Basically, Alex Krycek is aligned with stray dog symbolism, but during these two episodes, Tunguska and Perma, we see him become a wolf. Overall, the symbolism involved in Krycek is showing the transformation from a loyal dog or loyal companion, at least on the outside, in episodes like Sleepless, into a stray dog in episodes like Tunguska and Perma, into a wolf in episodes like Essence and Existence later on. But yes, he's been involved with the FBI, the Syndicate. He was a Russian spy and a rogue operative, and it's about how you back a dog into a corner, it will bite you. You can only know Krycek temporarily, just like you could only own him temporarily. He's superhumanly self-obsessed. He's a survivor in search of his own truth, which is power. A wolf with loyalty only to himself, he actually transforms into something beyond himself over the course of the show. His own private Alex Krycek mythos is built up around him. Krycek is unpredictable because he so often loses. But even when Krycek loses, he gains more symbolized power over the shape of the X-Files mythology. His name carries weight and inconceivable dread, with lines like, "It's all going to hell with a smile." He's the most dangerous loser on the planet. As you do to Mulder and me, you do to all of mankind. From loyal Jimmy Olsen, descending to pure, cunning wolf. Or maybe I should say ascending, like in the episode Ascension, where we truly see that transformation occur. He's not to be trusted. Trust, truth, and belief are the cornerstones of the X-Files. And the cigarette-smoking man, Doggett, Skinner, everyone in the show does not trust Krycek at all. One of the most fascinating things about Alex Krycek is the homoerotic dynamic that exists between he and Mulder. Now, Mulder does not really reciprocate these things, although his blood just boils hot at even the sight of him. He wants to rip out Krycek's throat. That's the only way that Mulder reciprocates this. That's because Mulder is so Aquarian and so airy that he's clinically uninvolved with anything that isn't directly aiding in his crusade to discover the truth. But one of my favorite Krycek moments of all time is the kiss on the cheek in The Red and the Black. So Krycek surprise attacks Mulder in his apartment and kisses him on the cheek and lets go of his gun, basically saying that I believe in you. Kisses him on the cheek. Also, Sleepless Dwayne Barry in Ascension sees Krycek swoon immediately in spite of his nefarious purposes. I would also argue that in that episode he tells a cigarette-smoking man that the real problem is Scully, that we need to get rid of Scully, and I think that's a huge part of jealousy on Krycek. Well, that is also shared with Scully because it's mirrored by the fact that Scully says, looks like things are going really well with your new partner, and Mulder even, accidentally, not on purpose, this isn't purposeful to make her jealous, but he says, well, it's nice to have someone who believes you every once in a while. And that plays into this kind of psychosexual, jealous power dynamic that exists between the three characters involved. Because he's a temporary male replacement for Scully, but the will they won't they dynamic is so ingrained into the fabric of the show, even by season 2, that Nicholas Lea continues the sexual undertones of Gillian Anderson. homoeroticism, blatant romanticism, incredibly forward-thinking. It predates Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss's reimagining of the Moriarty-Sherlock dynamic through the levels of sexual energy that Chris Carter expertly explored through Krycek, through Mulder, through this dynamic. Krycek is nearly proto-James Moriarty, but minus anything extraordinarily brilliant. He's just extraordinarily a survivalist, extraordinarily evil. But you can also see this kind of dynamic being perpetuated by James Bond and Silva and Skyfall later on. But Krycek is deeply attracted to Mulder and cannot contain that fact. Arch-villainy is incontrovertibly sealed early on in Anasazi with the assassination of William Mulder, Fox's father. It's Alex Krycek who delivers Fox from cynicism and clinical doubt later on. In The Red and the Black, Krycek's kiss saves Mulder's truth. And I think that's actually incredibly important, and I should probably repeat it. Krycek's kiss saves Mulder's truth, because that occurs at a time where Mulder is completely skeptical of all things paranormal. He has lost his crusade, his drive, the thing that made him unique or heroic in the first place, the thing that made him inspirational. It is with a kiss on the cheek from his arch-villain that rekindles that flame. Krycek is his firefighter. He keeps that fire going. Krycek's kiss saves Mulder's truth. No one trusts Krycek, but Krycek trusts Mulder. He doesn't trust anyone else but Mulder. Mulder gets so enraged, livid at the sight of Krycek, blood boils at hearing the name Alex Krycek, but so uninterested is Krycek in Dana Scully. He just wants to get rid of her. He's just clinically uninvolved in her. But the look on his face, in essence, when Mulder himself entrusts Krycek to protect Dana and her unborn baby, is on Krycek's face, it's shock and curiosity. But he does a good job. He gets her out of that building. Now, you know it's for nefarious goals, and he knew exactly what was going on in that scene. But I think that he was being asked by Mulder to protect something very important to him, and he did well by the man that he loves. And his death is incredibly important, and we should probably talk about it. He has a line, "I could have killed you so many times, Mulder, you know that. I'm the one who kept you alive, praying you'd win somehow. We wanted the same thing, brother." So these are incestual brothers, both warring over their idea of what truth is, and we'll get to that in a second. But when Krycek finally decided to kill Fox, every muscle in his body rejected the idea. He hesitated. He rejected the concept entirely. He hesitated so long that Skinner was able to stop him with a bullet to the head. It doesn't seem fair now. It doesn't seem right coming out of this. I think his death is incredibly heroic and a tragedy on par with something Shakespearean, something incredibly Roman, but something classically tragic, something tragic in an ancient kind of way. The tragedy of the ancients here, because they are aligned as brothers, they are aligned as homoerotic, so incestual brothers, and they are aligned as the inverse of each other, but nonetheless incontrovertibly connected. So truth is incredibly important in the X-Files, and I believe that each important character, be it Fox Mulder, Dana Scully, Walter Skinner, the cigarette-smoking man, and Alex Krycek, most certainly have their own idea of what truth is. Krycek's truth is what he needs it to be. He says as much in Tunguska. Truth is whatever Alex Krycek needs the truth to be. He believes in regimes of truth. He's an absolute postmodernist, a lethal postmodernist. I believe Krycek sees truth as power. Foucault would agree with this, most certainly. Lines are attributed to Foucault, the true architect of postmodernism, which is a philosophy I do love. This is not an attack against that frame of thought. Power is everywhere, not because it embraces everything, but because it comes from everywhere. Power is not an institution, nor a structure, nor a possession. It is the name we give to a complex strategic situation in a particular society. Alex Krycek is often framed as the condemned man, a symbol of lack of powers or truth. In stark contrast to the Syndicate's overabundance of power, the condemned man's soul becomes the effect and instrument of power exercises over the body. The Krycek character model, archetype, and function benefits from the observable and implied powers of the Syndicate. Another quote from Foucault that I think is entirely relevant to Alex Krycek and how he cultivates his villainy. If the surplus power possessed by the king gives rise to the duplication of his body, has not the surplus power exercised on the subjective body of the condemned man given rise to another type of duplication, that of a non-corporeal, a soul? In the darkest region of the political field, the condemned man represents the symmetrical, inverted king. Krycek is a phantom. Eventually, Krycek is a ghost, literally. Krycek is the symmetrical, inverted prince. Black oil was power. Venomized Krycek was power. The purity vaccine was power. The nanobite virus was power. The government secrets on the flash drive was power. Krycek was chosen by the black oil by purity. Krycek, almost by a morbid fate, is drawn into every dark, sinister plot in the X-Files mythology. He even coins the term "fight the future" in Two Fathers. Krycek humiliated Skinner with his own truth by power, by having the ability to end Skinner's life at any time. In the end, Krycek believes in miracles, but he believes in destroying them, and destroying Dana Scully's baby. Perhaps the most frightening part of Alex Krycek's truth is that he lives to destroy it. He lives to destroy the truth. His grin, that smirk, his prosthetic arm, horrifyingly amputated limb. His limb was amputated in Terma by a group of Russian escapees from an experimental prison where they were experimenting with the purity virus. And none of these Russian escapees who take Krycek in, they don't have left arms, but you don't even realize that because it's never focused on, because Tris Carter is a genius at nuance and subtlety and eeriness. They cut off Krycek's arm. They think that they're helping him. And also, it falls into the trope because before that, Krycek's hair is parted with his left hand to the left, and that's an old trope, a subconscious trope, that if we see that on a person, we think that they're smarmy, we think that they're villainous, and we don't exactly know why. So when they cut off his arm, they actually give a physical symbol to the ancient collected unconscious symbol of evil, which is left-hand mysticism. His left hand is prosthetic from that point on, and it makes him incredibly creepy. Incredibly horrifying. It's a horror story by the end of his run. He occupies the shadows. He lives in darkness. He's impossible to figure out. It's about right hand, left hand mysticism, and the right hand is Fox Mulder, and the left hand is Krycek. And you also extend that he's the left hand of every organization that he works for. He is an attack dog. But he has his own aims, goals, and purposes, and he cannot be trusted by anyone. But once again, Krycek trusts Mulder, trusts him enough to come back as a ghost to aid him in the series finale. The truth. But that's what's most fascinating, because what Fox Mulder represents, what his drive is determined by what he believes the truth is. The truth is incredibly important to Fox, as it is incredibly important to everyone involved in the human condition, most likely. But what Krycek's goal is to destroy it, is to murder, is to slaughter the truth, and to sell its parts for cash. That is Krycek's ambition and Krycek's modus operandi, which puts him diametrically at direct odds with Mulder. Mulder is someone who wants to find the truth, champion the truth, save the truth, and expose the truth. Krycek wants to beat him to it, but Krycek wants to kill it. And he disapproves of Mulder's methods because he wishes that Mulder would just let it go. would just understand the harsh reality of the world that Krycek knows. Krycek knows things that we'll never know. Krycek's experienced things we'll never experience. Krycek is one of my favorite villains of all time. And it's because he's so deeply enigmatic, so incredibly mysterious, with a heart blacker than oil. I want to thank you for watching this video. My name's Zachary Conan. If you enjoyed my thoughts, please subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with other fans of the X-Files and other Alex Krycek fans. I know that we're out there. And leave a like on the video as well to let me know that you appreciated it. And in the comments, what's your favorite Krycek moment? Because a pro tip, before I made this video, I rewatched every Alex Krycek episode, every single one, which might sound like a lot, but not really when you consider he appeared in 8 seasons for maybe 2 to 3 episodes per season. So it's really not that much. I don't know, something like 12 to 15 episodes. I don't exactly remember how many episodes he was in, but I watched every single one. And much to my happiness, Krycek only appears at pivotal moments within X-Files Mythology episodes. If you want the Cliff Notes X-Files, just watch the Krycek episodes and you will get the full story of the original series run of those original 9 seasons. I think that's fascinating. That's really cool. I realized that while rewatching the episodes that, oh my god, Krycek, he's in the pregnancy episode, he's in the Black Oil episodes, he's in the Super Soldier episodes, he's in the elimination of the Syndicate episodes, he's in the final episode. Like, he's in so many important episodes. The Anasazi episode. Every important moment in the X-Files, arguably the most important ones, Krycek is there, even if he's just there as a shadow or a specter, because there are several episodes where he doesn't even have a line of dialogue. This is someone who could just appear and just with his own physical presence dominate and completely coat a scene with a terribly black paint, with shadows. Like I said, Krycek is a man with a soul and a heart that is blacker than black oil, and the most impure person in the world, who is obsessed with the purity virus. It takes an incredibly impure man to develop a vaccine for purity. The poetry of Chris Carter's television show, holy shit. I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and yeah, Alex Krycek, man. That dude floors me. The complexities of that character. Wow, astonishing. Thank you for watching.